Before this video gets started, I just want to say that these videos on YouTube are going to be a compilation of singular videos I've posted on TikTok and Facebook and other platforms. So, without further ado, here we go. So now that it's summer, I've got a lot of stuff to do because this yard needs to be cleaned up, and I've neglected it for a couple years, and I've been collecting stuff, and it's just awful. And I've actually done quite a bit of stuff off camera because my thought was I want to show things that are kind of better or things like that I'm getting accomplished or what have you, but I just decided to just show whatever I'm working on. And right now I'm just moving some forklift wheels because they actually need to have the compound removed so I can harvest the metal that's on them, because there's quite a bit of good metal on those tires. They're wheels, not tires. But anyway, I'm building a wood boiler this year, and I think I'm going to throw one or two of them in at a time just to burn the rubber off and harvest the metal off of them. But yeah, it just takes a long time to do this stuff. I mean, this is a couple hours of work here that's summed up in a small video. It just takes time to get all this stuff done. And my wood pile fell over a little bit, so I had to clean that up so I could put some wood down so I can stack more tires. I've got so many of these tires. I used to work on forklifts, so yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this and have a great day. Hey, so today I'm just back at it cleaning up some more of the yard, and today was pretty difficult because I had a bunch of little tiny things and a bunch of trash that I just dumped on the ground when I used to work for this forklift company, because I would be busy and I'd work long days and I'd just dump stuff, being lazy. So I would spend a lot of time on the ground picking up little pieces and putting them in a bucket. Tried to do some stuff without my dolly, but had to go get that out of my basement, and they put this hatch in there to get into the basement. It's just awful, and I spilled some dog food, but thankfully the dog was all kinds of happy to eat it all up, so I didn't have to clean that up. But yeah, I found so much trash in the weeds here that I was like, why did I dump this? I don't know. I was being lazy, and now I'm paying for it. You know, the time has come to just bite the bullet and do what I need to do to get it cleaned up. So I got my burn barrel, started throwing a bunch of trash in there, had a bunch of hydraulic hoses and trailer wire to clean up there. And there's me just digging stuff out of the ground, nuts and bolts and just random stuff that I threw on the ground. I mean, they were in boxes, but the boxes disintegrated now. So anyway, have a good one. So we're back at it again. I had to empty out my burn barrel because there was just way too much water in it. So I got to let it air dry and then put the stuff back in it to let it burn. But this plant right here, that I don't know what this is called. If you know, let me know, but I hate these things. This is just a close-up of what I've been dealing with, the smaller stuff. These cardboard boxes I told you about, they disintegrate, and then I just got loose nuts and bolts just in the dirt. I'm going to go over all this with a big magnet. But once I get kind of this section's the worst of kind of all the stuff going on here. But once I get all this kind of section cleaned up, and then I have two kind of other sections I'm going to be getting to. But after this section, I'm going to be doing a couple other projects I need to get done before I can kind of go any further. And you'll see in another video. But there's tarp here that I'm kind of weed whacking around right now. This thing, I just don't have the heart to get rid of it because it's like poly material. It's like clear poly. It kind of some people use them for like greenhouses and stuff, but it's still in really good shape. It's just been sitting in there in the weeds, and it smelled like cow manure. And it makes sense because it's rotting grass. But I took it out into my field here, put some forklift wheels on it, and gonna let it dry. Okay, so this is my last kind of cleaning up video for a bit. I've got 3 projects that I want to get done before I go any further with just the day-to-day cleanup that I've been doing for the past week. It's fine, but I'm excited to get into some stuff. Here you just see me. I put a piece of plastic over my tablet because it started raining, but it wasn't raining bad enough I couldn't keep working. But yeah, I'm happy to be kind of done. And then I was like, I feel like I didn't make a lot of progress, but then I went back and looked, and I was like, man, that whole lighter section there is all stuff I cleaned up, and So that felt good to just, kind of see my progress there. But anyway, I've got a couple things I want to get done. Doing a foundry. I want to make a glass cutter. You'll see, and then I want to do a ball mill. And I'm gonna do separate videos on those. But anyway, hope you liked it. Look forward to the next videos. Have a good day. I got a good one for you today. It's a little bit longer of a video, but I think it's a good one. Been having an issue with my mower with just not enough power. Seems to be running okay, but it just kind of hiccups a little bit and not enough power. So I'm changing the blades here because the blades it came with were trash, and then I put some better blades on it, but they weren't exactly designed for it, and so I was getting a lot of backups in the chute. I used that Maddock to prop up the front end, and I know it seems unsafe, but it's very stable because those hydraulic or hydrostatic transfer cases prevent the wheels from spinning. So it's fine. It's actually surprising how stable it is. But anyway, so just cut this patch of grass, and it just wasn't quite what I thought it should be. So there's me with my rake smoothing out a gopher hill, which I get quite a bit. So anyway, tore into this thing. I took the carburetor off because I thought maybe the main jet was clogged a little bit. It wasn't getting enough fuel. So I did a little bit more, still didn't work. So I decided to wash off the deck, like clean the deck out, spray the deck so that it would get all the grass out of it, all the built up grass, even more than I did by hand. But then I went and changed the air filter. There's the old one versus the new one. Not a huge thing, but I figured it, wouldn't hurt. And it was at the local hardware store a mile and a half from the house. So anyway, mowed again, and it almost stalled out of me there. That's why I came back. Then I cleaned up a little spot here. So the next morning, I just went and got all the normal tune-up pieces because it hasn't been tuned up. So this is my third season with it, and I've never done this. So I've changed the oil. I just haven't done the other stuff. So I'm like, it's time. I'll check that out, see if it'll work. So get back out there, and it's the same exact problem. And I'm like, what is going on? So long story short, I found out that it ran way better on one cylinder than it did on the other. I did this by unplugging the ignition coils one at a time and seeing how it ran on each cylinder. And here's what each cylinder sounds like. That was the cylinder closer to the camera. Here's the other one. And you can hear and see a big difference in what it's doing. So I swapped the ignition coils, and I did the same exact thing, and the problem followed the ignition coil. So I went and got 2 brand new ignition coils. I ended up only putting one on because I figure I can keep one for backup. In the end, I know everything on the engine is working correctly, but it was still not performing as good as I thought it should. I think it's due to how tall this grass is. This machine is not designed to cut grass over 10 inches. So I'm making a foundry furnace. Making the furnace specifically. Apparently a foundry is the entire operation of melting and pouring metal. But this is just the furnace. And I'm building it outside, far enough away from the building. And as you can see in the lower left-hand corner there, I've got a stack of aluminum cans. And I've got way more aluminum cans all over the place that I need to get melted. So I got to get this thing built just to, be able to clean up the yard more, as you've been watching my yard cleaning series, I guess. So I was digging a hole to be able to put this post in because my biggest issue is lifting this lid. But this auger, I put an attachment on this auger to just be able to turn it with a ratchet, and this works surprisingly well. I did try to use my electric impact, and that didn't do anything. I was shocked that it wouldn't even turn it one little bit. But this is me just finding bits and pieces that I can use as a pivot because I need to be able to lift that lid, which probably weighs about 50 pounds, and be able to rotate it over so it gets it out of the way for me. So this is the first mechanism I came up with. I didn't end up using this, but this is just kind of showing you just kind of the things I like to do, finding stuff that I already have to try and make the correct thing. And you might be wondering, why are you welding on the ground? Well, this is why I'm cleaning things up, because I don't have the proper spots to do the things I want to do. So I end up having to do, kind of goofy stuff. But this is me making tongs to be able to pick up my crucible And then I was using two propane torches to heat it up and bend it into place. Then I'm going to use a clamp on the other side, so I clamp it real tight. And then I had to cook my crucible because there's still moisture in it. It's graphite. But I did a slow, about 4-hour cook, slowly raising the temperature up to 500 degrees, and then let it sit at 500 degrees for half an hour, and then cooled all the way down. So it took a while, but got her done. Took it back outside. This is the afternoon now. My burn barrel, the smoke was blowing right at me, which 90% of the time the wind blows the other direction. So I had to cap my burn barrel because I was just so tired of breathing in smoke. But this is where I left it, and another video to come.